Okay, so the next line that we would like to talk about today is what I call constricted or aggressive line. So think of constricted like it's contracted, it's getting smaller. So your lines might be a little bit scrunchy or narrow. Aggressive, you want to think of it like it's expressing something that is not necessarily fluid and graceful. So maybe it's a little bit angular, or it's filled with tension, or let's just look at some examples because you'll be able to see this better than I can describe it. So looking down at the page, I've got a couple of different apples here that I've drawn for you guys. And you can see that this one I did with the Mitsubishi Hi-Uni 2B. And this one I would say is just sort of like rough around the edges. You know, I didn't work on making it a perfectly smooth line. I wasn't trying to make it really fluid. I just kind of did a sketchy line. This one I used the Pigma Micron 05 size. And this one I tried to make it look even more like action, things were going on. It almost kind of reminded me of, there are a couple of different cartoonists that work for the New Yorker cartoons, doing cartoons for the weekly magazine, and this kind of reminds me of one of their styles. So remember, this is still open to interpretation. You might find lots of different ways to express an aggressive or constricted style, but let's look at some different applications of it. So why would you want to use this type of line style? So here we've got a couple of different images. Let me move these out of the way so it doesn't get confusing. So this one is one of the chickens that I was drawing on the farm when I was at a farm here in Austin, drawing out with Urban Sketchers. And this guy was like trucking all over the place. So I was able to use just a really quick micron pen line to get him moving around. And then here's another example. This is a photograph by Albert J. Valentino, and I found it on Sisters of the Wolves Tumblr site. And actually one of my students was looking for a wolf to draw, so I drew this with one of my students. And let's see if we can get them both in here at the same time. It looks like it's too big. So let's just look at this. In order to draw the hair of the wolf, I needed a rougher texture. And so, you know, it wasn't going to be like a silky smooth hair like somebody who had flat ironed their hair, had pin straight hair like a human. Instead, it's a wild animal, so I wanted it to show that, you know, nobody's combing this dog. There's no grooming happening here. I needed a little bit of a shaggier line. So think of it like this. Your aggressive or constricted lines are not just going to be drawing when you're angry, although that is a really good way to get rid of your anger. You can just put it out on the page. And generally speaking, if you were drawing when you're upset, those lines might look a little bit different if you're really kind of putting your mood on the page. But a constricted aggressive line might just be a little bit shaggier or fuzzier or squigglier, and it's just going to show less smooth fluidity than some of your other lines. So that's your constricted aggressive line. I want you guys to try it out and let me know how it goes. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, LZM Studio, where I frequently release quick tips and all kinds of different ideas about drawing. Also check out my Facebook and my Instagram page. I like to show photographs of my artwork, of my students' artwork, and share funny stories from my students on those pages. And then check out my website, lzmstudio.com, where you're going to find more inspiration and full-length, detailed tutorials.